This is just zone. We've got a lot of different reads off every one of our plays from the quarterback's position. I think everybody in here, understands the zone without question. What we're trying to do is just get a good push or a good dent, out of the double team. This is kind of our big back for last year. He weighed about 218 pounds. We had a guy that year before was about 240, really did a good job for us. This is the left guard there is Cyril, who I was talking about. He's kind of a man eater. Should keep him hungry. And the thing we tell our backs to do is just, look for a crease, run the butts, and finish upfield. Same thing here. This is out of our what we'd call pro left formation. Keys to us, without getting too specific, is just kind of watching how the secondary reacts, by formation and down in distance. We've got a safety rolling down weak side here, which gives us a little bit of an isolation look here, maybe for later on. The other safety is at depth right here, which gives you a chance if you do crack the line of scrimmage to make some yards. So it just kind of depends on what those guys are reading on the back end. The safeties. He's getting a definite block, a run block all the way out of the tight end. Got a good push right here. Something that we do a good job, or that we emphasize, is what we call hand on the hip. And I know probably a lot of people do that. But if you want to move a D lineman, put your hand on his hip as an O lineman. I know a lot of y'all O linemen in here know that, but I didn't know it. I always coached outside skill positions, quarterbacks. And when I got my job in 1979, first job I got, and I started looking at the game differently, I thought, if you're ever going to be a really good football team, you better have tough, strong guys up front, both sides of the ball. That's what makes your team. On our team, our receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, safeties, they ain't the leaders. It's our O-line and D-line. If I get in a fight, I ain't going to holler for the guy that runs a 4.3 weighs 160. I'm hollering for C-note, number 68. Come save me. And then all of a sudden I'll walk tough and be strong. But, so those are the guys that control the locker room. If there's fights broken up, they're the ones breaking it up. They're the ones setting the tone. So you got to, I know that, like I said, the previous guy talking about all these things you need to do. I think something that's very important is know where these guys are from a mentality standpoint, because they're the guys that control your locker room, 100%, 100%. And that's who everybody will listen to, because they're afraid they'll get beat up if they don't. If they're good players, then they have that mentality. But there's a little example of the hand on the hip right there. That was actually the year before. That was in 2011, where we actually played Cyril at tackle, moved into a guard this year, because we had a couple other guys that were good. Our center last year actually got drafted by Denver, a kid from Canada. This is just with a kicker, zone with a kicker. Once again, you got two high safeties. Should be able to make a few yards here. It's probably a short yardage situation. Looks like second or third, about 2 or 3, or really 3rd and 1. So if you'll throw the ball well enough, which we will, like I said, we average 340 a game, then you'll get in these situations where it's 3rd and 1.5 and 2, and you won't get the heavy boxes. So that's when you got to run the football, make the first down, and move on.